Hey, everybody, welcome to the call. Welcome to office hours. I hope you guys are doing well. What's up, Richard, Frazier, Daniel, Carey, Kathleen, Tim, George, Sherry? Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome, David. Can you guys hear me okay and see me okay? If you wouldn't mind chatting in and letting me know, I would appreciate it. Like my whiteboard. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Awesome. Yes, that's my new whiteboard. And I don't know if you can notice, but this is my new camera setup using my iPhone as webcam through Zoom. So a little bit different camera action going on here. I figured I'd give it a test. Cool, thanks, Richard. Yeah, it's pretty slick. It's just turns your iPhone camera into the webcam, since the camera on my computer isn't as nice as I would like it to be. And thanks, David. This camera on the iPhone is better than the typical webcam. Of course, you could get the DSLR cameras, the nicer cameras, and set that up. I don't have one of those cameras because I do all of my videos on iPhone. So I just figured, why not just continue using the iPhone that I've got here and see how that works. And so far, I think it looks pretty darn nice. Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, so I'll move this over a little bit here so I'm a little more facing you guys, but something a little different. Always playing around with the technology. So I hope everybody's doing well. Man, if it's not one thing, it's another, right? We've got just so much craziness going on these days that is preventing our businesses from getting back to business. And we will get through it. We will hopefully be better afterwards. But right now, it's a little painful to be going through all this stuff at this particular moment, right on the backside of trying to get through this pandemic. But like I said, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we get through this here quickly and get everybody back to business. I know most of the restaurants here in San Diego that had just opened just closed right back down again, because there's so much craziness going on that they can't safely be open. So we'll get back to it here sooner rather than later. But for now, we're in office hours, so fire away with your questions. You guys know the drill. I'm going to cap it at 1 hour so that I can get back to work, because I've got a bunch of stuff I'm doing right now. But I'm all yours for the next hour. So if you've got something to ask, just go ahead and fire away. Yes, Jimmy, high-tech background. That's right. My daughter says, Daddy, use this side, because she is using the other side for school. I thought that was adorable, so I left that note up there. Otherwise, this looks very narrow back here. It's not quite that narrow back there, but it looks very narrow. Yeah, high tech in the apartment in San Diego. Carrie says, sent email about 2 hours ago. Sent question about 2 hours ago. Okay, hold on one second. No, Matt Gordon, this is the iPhone camera. This is the iPhone camera. So I'm using the iPhone.
But the one you were unhappy with, that was the iMac camera?
The one that I was unhappy with was the iMac camera. That's right.
Okay, sorry, it was unclear there.
No, that's okay. Okay, let's see here. Carrie says, this is a follow-up to our coaching call from several weeks ago. We spoke about my need to put together a VSL to produce leads for the HR management solution. Yep. I was on the call today. Could you discuss generic ideas regarding a template or outline for a short video sales letter or YouTube ad? Thinking 2 minutes or less. How long do you think? Okay. See, my goal would be for the leader prospect to be willing to take the selfie and then schedule a phone call to discuss the results of the assessment. You could also venture into funnel discussion if you wish. I would imagine anyone using video to generate leads would find this valuable. Okay, cool. Yes, so let me pull up a resource for you here, Carrie, and for everybody who is interested in this topic. I will get you a VSL template. And this is from the leverage selling system. And it is what, if you were to look at my standard sales letter template, it is almost exactly the same. And that's hopefully a really important lesson for all of you. And let me go ahead and send you the link right now. So that's a Google Doc right there. That is a VSL template. Let me go ahead and I'll share my screen and I can walk you through it. Let me just let a couple people into the meeting here before I do that. Make sure everybody gets in. Welcome, gentlemen. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and share my screen and I will walk you through that document real quick. So again, if you were to look at my sales letter template, this follows almost the exact same structure. And there's just some nuance for the, for the specifics of the fact that you're on video, right? But that's not, that it's not major. It's actually relatively minor. The document itself, you can see here, it just kind of walks you through the high points. So it says, and gives you a little bit of instruction up here on creating it. But then down here, the attention grabber. So typically when you're doing a VSL, you're going to, just like you would with a headline or a pre-headline on a sales letter, you're going to have something that is going to really, try and grab their attention. Then you're going to make a promise for watching. And then again, very, very similar structure to a sales letter. Empathize with pains, promise the solution is coming, tell them what it's not. This isn't always appropriate. You've got to use your judgment in all of these things. Sometimes you're gonna edit out some of this stuff. Demonstrate proof, share your origin and purpose stories, help them see the potential, make your first pitch, use your positioning story to differentiate, demonstrate proof, recap, help them see the potential, call to action, risk reversal, call to action, risk reversal, remind, regret, call to action. Okay. So those are major chunks of messaging. That is assuming that I'm making an actual sale right there. But if I followed the same structure, Carrie, and I just kind of whittled it down to generate a lead, I would still generally follow the same structure. But again, going through using judgment in terms of how long does it need to be, how detailed does it need to be. Obviously, if I'm trying to sell you a product from that video and it's cold traffic, I'm going to have to put in more detail in there than I am if I'm just asking for you to go and opt into something. And, asking somebody to go, sorry, let me just get that shut down. Okay. Asking somebody to, hang on one second, guys, got people in the waiting room. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So the overall structure, though, is going to stay the same. Now, when you ask about, how long should it be, and things like that, what's really important is that you're just making sure to understand the platform that you're on and the specific context of that platform. Okay, because you can do a very brief video for an Instagram story ad, and you're only going to have, let's say, 30 seconds to work with total. And you can still have that be a great lead generation ad, Carrie. It would just be much more direct about, getting right to the message and then just giving somebody a call to action. Versus on YouTube, you have more time. And then on YouTube, you would have to look at the different ad formats to make sure that you really understand the right strategy in terms of exactly how to package that video. And so what I mean by that is that you have the ads on YouTube where you don't pay unless somebody sticks around, right? And so in that case, you know, you actually want to use that first 5 to 10 seconds or so to really address the audience that you want to stick around, because you don't want to just get somebody's attention, get them excited, and then have them stay long enough that you get charged for the ad, and then they find out that it's not really for them because you didn't really call out the audience at the very beginning. So at the very beginning, you want to call out that audience so that anybody who's not a fit drops off right away, so you don't have to pay for them. And then the rest of the audience stays, around because it is for them. For Facebook, that's not an issue. For LinkedIn video, that's not an issue. And I would think that both Facebook and LinkedIn could be great platforms for you for this VSL. But just to walk through again, like a much more just an abbreviated version of all this attention grabber. So calling out the audience. Hey, digital agencies. I'll go with some of my stuff, right? Digital agencies, are you tired of being on the client services treadmill, trading your time for money? In the next few minutes in this video, I'm going to show you the 6 major shifts that you have to make to transition from being a service provider that's selling your time to one that's got scalable, automated, recurring revenue. Okay, so right there, I made my attention grabber, addressed my audience, made the promise for watching. Then I would start empathizing and agitating the pains a little bit more, right? So, hey, look, I understand where you've been. I've been in the industry, for a long time. And I know from working with so many of you that, here are the common things that you're experiencing that, tell you that your business model is not working like you intended it to work when you got started. I promise you, again, by the time we get to the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not another one of those courses telling you I'm going to turn you into a high price guru overnight, and that type of thing. You guys know that that's a bunch of BS. And by the way, it's completely unnecessary to build a real scalable business in this, in this marketplace, and then demonstrate proof. And if you don't want to listen to me, listen to these guys. Here's 5 people that have gone through this and know exactly what I'm talking about, and look at the benefits that they've all received. Briefly share your origin and purpose story. So this is, I discovered these formulas when I was working in this business. I started up, had all these disasters, the origin story, going through the pit of despair and coming back up the other side. This is how I discovered that. When you apply this to your business, here's how things are going to change for you, help them see the potential, and then make my pitch. Now, if this was just a lead generation video, right then and there, I would absolutely be sending people, over to, you can head over to such and such website and download right now this 6-point framework where I'm going to walk you through exactly, how to do this at your business, and then continue on again, and then have another call to action down later on. So if I was trying to make a sale, I would be going into much more depth on those things. And depending on the complexity of the product, the price of the product, would probably determine how long and how deep I do go into each of those points. On YouTube, as an example, it's not uncommon for people to publish, 20-minute long, 30-minute long videos. So I would worry less about the length and more about that you've got the messages that you want in there, and that they are, as impactful as possible to make sure that you're keeping their attention. Okay, does that help you, Carrie? Let me know if you have any additional questions on that I can help you with, and I'm happy to. Good, cool. Well, take a crack at it. Let me know if you want me to take a look at it. I'm happy to. Awesome. Anybody else? If you have questions, go ahead and fire them in. Let me know, and we will get to it. Let's see here. Got questions? Type them in. Otherwise, we'll sit here and stare at each other awkwardly into the cameras. Now that I have a higher definition camera, you can really get the full effect of me staring awkwardly at you, which will be a benefit of these calls. Is it Luke? Luclub. Luke, welcome. George, welcome. Let's see who else just joined. Dustin just joined recently. Welcome. Adam, I think, just joined recently. Welcome. Let's see here. Jimmy says, how often do you post on social media and do lives still work? It's funny, Jimmy, that you asked that question right now. I personally, I could not sleep last night. I have about once a month, I have a pretty good insomnia night. And so at about 3 in the morning last night, I decided to buy this new course on live streaming that I had seen around and saved in my bookmarks to check out, and went through it from about 3 in the morning to 5 in the morning. So I think that going live absolutely works. I think that going live is something that the platforms want. Instagram is putting more emphasis on live. YouTube is putting more emphasis on live. Facebook is putting more emphasis on live. They're building in monetization options into those things. So they know that video is incredibly engaging, but even more so live video like this, which, by the way, now that I have this camera figured out, I'm going to start broadcasting these calls live on Facebook when we do them. Now that the videos plus this interaction makes video even that much more engaging, right? And so with all the social platforms, it's all about keeping them on there, okay? So I think that live absolutely still works. I think it's an incredible option to grow your business actually going forward. In terms of how frequently you post, I don't know that I concern myself really with that much at all. And there's a couple reasons why. One, I promote my posts, and so even when I'm not posting something, real regularly, I'm promoting the stuff that I did post in a lot of cases, and so people are still seeing my content all the time because of my content blitzkrieg strategy, my remarketing blitzkrieg strategy that you're familiar with. So I'm less concerned about that. To me, as my brand name says, leverage. I'm always looking for, hey, what's the thing that I can do that can make this work without me having to, remember to post 6 times a day or whatever. So I do think on the one downside of having my camera being used for my webcam is I can't play with my phone and show you. But I do think that on Instagram stories in particular, I think that your posting on that should be frequent. And if you watch my There San Diego account, you'll see that it is really, really frequent. I have not been doing nearly the job that I should be on my Leverage Instagram account, just out of focus, but I'm actually working on getting that ramped up. And so you'll see a lot more activity on that. But I think that that's the one place in particular where you should be posting like multiple times a day if you can. And the other platforms all have their own rhythm. I mean, YouTube, if you post once a week is fine. If you post 2 times a week, that's great. If you post every day because you're a machine, that's great. I feel like the same thing with Facebook. You could post on there 2-3 times a day. You could post on there 2-3 times a week. Organic distribution on Facebook is so poor now that, I mean, unless you're in my group or I'm paying to promote my post to you, I just assume you're not even going to see anything that I share, honestly. Um, so yeah, organic Facebook is ridiculously low, as Richard says. Yeah, so I don't even pay attention to Facebook organic posting now for business. So uh, Jimmy says, do you do live from a page or personal? I would do it for, I mean, for business purposes, I would do it from a page. Do it from a page, and then you can share that live stream from that page into your groups if you have groups. So that's a strategy that you can do, and that way you're getting distribution on the page and inside the groups. Or if you want it to feel more private to your group, you know, like, hey, Growth Insiders, I'm doing this just for you, then obviously you could just do the live inside that group, so that way you're giving them that feeling of a you know, a private thing. But if you're doing it for like marketing purposes, do it on your page and then share it to your groups. I actually just read last night while I was up going through that course, I just read that Facebook is actually working on an integration between Facebook and Instagram, so that when you're live on one, you can be live on the other at the same time. You can be broadcasting simultaneously on those two, which will be great. I mean, that's a huge benefit. So, but yes, Jimmy, get back to your original question. I think that going live is actually a really smart strategy. I think anything that you can do with video, anything that you can do with personalization, you know, interaction, showing relationship, you know, building relationship, I think that's always a win. And so if you look at any marketing option that you have right now and say, you know, could I use this to get in front of people, and could I use this to build a relationship? And if the answer is yes, then it's a good opportunity. Let's see who asked. Oh, Sherry asked the name of the course. It's hold on one second. It's Sherry, I'll post it inside of like the Growth Insiders group or the Leverage group after this. It's a very inexpensive, like a $37 course. And I got to tell you, I thought it was good. Yeah, making everyone say yes. I thought it was good. I honestly am not sure that you need to buy it. I'll just, I hate to, I hate to, I will just tell you right now what I got from it was almost purely, um, you know, take my content marketing blitzkrieg, each of those sections, and then just do that on live. I mean, just take those topics and do that on live. I mean, there was a couple of other, you know, little things, and I'm not even saying that it was a bad course at all. I actually thought it was a great course for the $37. I'm just saying that since you already have the content framework that I've shared inside of you know, Growth Insiders, um, you could just use that and go live. I mean, right? Like that's pretty much the gist of it. Dustin, it wasn't Click Go. Gosh, I don't know the name. I'll have to look it up and find it for you guys. But I'll share it. Like I said, I don't have anything bad to say about the course. I just know with the resources that you have for me, your takeaways may not be, you know, huge for you. Jimmy says, what are your thoughts on YouTube ads? Do they convert, or are they just used for brand awareness? Oh no, Jimmy, they convert. Gosh, I mean, I can tell you right now, some of the biggest names that you know of in marketing. Let's take like a Billy Jean. I mean, he is absolutely demolished it on YouTube. Even more so than Facebook in the last year. You know, it's been very, very heavily YouTube driven. So I think right now, actually, almost all of his cold traffic is YouTube, and his retargeting is heavily on Facebook as well. But I think almost all of his cold traffic is YouTube. So yeah, it will definitely convert. Richard says, how do you balance giving value and information in videos and posts, but not giving away too much to where they still want to buy your information? Richard, it's funny. I am a firm believer, and I think it's played out over and over and over again, that the more you give, the more the majority of people want to buy. There is no relationship with giving too much and having people buy less. I don't think that happens. Or I should say, it doesn't happen to most people. Okay. For most people, the more you give them, the more they will want to buy from you. For a small percentage of people, they may have enough context on the topic already that just by coming to some of your stuff, they don't need to buy your course, right? Patrick says, I can confirm that based on all I bought from you. Yeah. Yeah, my opinion is the more you give, the better you're going to do. Now, I will say, Richard, let's say you're doing a webinar and the intention of that webinar is to sell. I actually typically do not sell nearly as well as I could because I give away too much in the webinar. And it's not that I give too much value. I do. I give all the value that I can, but that's not the problem. The problem is that when you get into teaching the how, people's brains just get a little scrambled and then just don't buy as much. It's absolutely proven. Russell Brunson is one of the best in the world at this, where if you follow his webinar formula, he makes a big promise to you and then shows you proof of that promise working, but then never gets into the how-to, right? Never gets into the details of how to do it. And then at the end of that webinar, that's when he makes you the offer for the how-to, right? So I'm going to show you how you can, come up with the absolute best funnel to blow your business up to 7 figures, within a day, right? And then he gives you the very high level of how you're going to do that, and then shows you, here, Jimmy did this, Johnny did this, Billy did this. Look at all the results that they got, and then on to secret number 2, right? Because he never crosses that line into teaching and into details, people's brains stay very focused on the promise, the promise, the promise. And it just converts better. It just absolutely converts better. So I recommend, from a hardcore conversion perspective, look at the way he does it. I personally struggle with it a little bit, honestly, because I hate feeling like somebody came to a 90-minute webinar with me or whatever and didn't learn good stuff. I would rather that I sacrifice some sales and have everybody leave the webinar going, oh man, I got some good stuff from that. That's awesome. So I think that Russell is one of those very rare people that can figure out how to pull off both to an extent, and people will still feel like they got a lot out of the webinar. I think that it's kind of hard to do though. So that's just my thoughts on it. But if in that case, Richard, if you said, today, right now, getting somebody to convert on a webinar, that formula of his will do better than what I told you, which is give away as much as you want. Over time, I believe if you give away as much as you want, just show as much value as you can, that you're going to win. I really do believe that, and I believe that Russell believes that too. And that's why if you look at all the content he puts out, his podcasts and his videos and all that stuff, his books, he's giving away gold every day, right? Because he knows that that's the right formula in the long term. In the short term, if he's trying to make a sale, he takes a more aggressive approach. Okay. Yeah, you bet, Richard. Sherry says live streaming pros courses and membership is awesome. Just need to find the time to set everything up and do it. Yeah. So actually, Sherry, So that's the one thing that I really actually appreciated about the course of this gentleman that I just bought, is that his approach is pretty much like no technology, no sophistication, no nothing, just start recording videos. And I really appreciate that because that's definitely going to be the way that I roll. Like there is zero chance that if I have to set up, I mean, look at me. I got a whiteboard behind me and my, my camera turned on my phone. Like if I have to set up some fancy thing, if I have to put on the software just right, and it has to have one of these switchboards and all that type of stuff to work, you can count on I am not doing that. Like if somebody has a podcast studio and a video studio, and I've got a really important one to do, and I can just walk in and somebody will have that all set up for me and just turn it on and I just record, then great. But if I have to do that myself, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. The only way I'm going to consistently do live videos is by this, and then by picking up my phone, holding it up to my face, hitting go live on Instagram and going, hey, everybody, it's Mike. I was just sitting around here thinking about X, Y, and Z and want to record this video for you. The only way I'm going to do it consistently. So his approach is much more geared towards that style. And he talks about, hey, look, way too many of you are trying to set up this elaborate system and then you never do anything with it. So I'm a big fan of, at the very least, use his approach to get momentum, right? Okay, Kathleen, good question. And then Jimmy, I'll get back to you here in 1 second. Kathleen says, what iPhone do you have and what are you using to connect to Zoom? Okay, so this is cool. I posted this in the groups about 2 weeks ago, and then Zoom rolled out a security update, and it actually broke the ability to do what I posted about, which is what I'm doing right now, using the webcam. Using my iPhone as the webcam with Zoom. It actually broke that. The new security update did. And then people figured out kind of how to hack it to make it work again. And so before this call, I sat down a half an hour before this call and I was like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. And I did the hacking and it worked, and it's super simple. So this is called Epic Cam, EPOC. Here, let me get a link for you real quick. So it's this app right here called Epic Cam from this company called Canoni or whatever. You should be able to see the link. I just sent it to you now. And it's like, I think it's like an $8 app or something like that to get the pro version. I think that they have a free version, but I got the pro version. And then you just put a little bit of software on your computer. It's tiny. And then literally right now I'm connected to my computer over a Wi-Fi. So this is a Wi-Fi stream. If I was connected via USB, I'm sure it might even be higher quality. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to connect via USB at the moment. So I'll work on figuring that out. But it's slick because it does connect over Wi-Fi or USB. And my phone, Kathleen, is the iPhone 11 Plus or iPhone 11 Pro Plus, or I'm not even sure which models are which anymore. I have the 3 cameras, but I don't have the giant one. So that's what I have. It's the iPhone 11 with the 3 cameras. So it's got the best cameras, but I don't have the giant phone. I still got the slightly, yeah. And I love it, and the camera quality on it is unbelievable. And so, this camera quality is dramatically better than the iMac camera quality. It's not even close. So you can do, some really nice video with this. And that's why every single video that I do is just on my iPhone. Every, sales video, everything that you see me do is just on my iPhone. And again, it goes back to that issue of if it's complicated, like I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to let anything get in my way. So it's super easy for me to just turn on my iPhone, record a video. The quality's good, you know, um, and I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to win any Oscars or anything like that, right? So, but Kathleen, I can. There is a YouTube video that I shared in the groups. Like I said, probably about 2 weeks ago. And if you got into one of the groups and search for Epic Cam, you'll probably find it. But there's a YouTube video from a gentleman that just shows a little bit about how to set this up. But honestly, if you just get the app, I mean, there's essentially no setup to it, really. I mean, you just put the app on your phone, put the app on your computer, turn the thing on, it works. I'm sorry, turn the thing on, it works. If you're using it with Zoom, you have to do the hack that I did, and I can share with you a video where you can get that hack, or a blog post where you can get that hack. Let's see here. Jimmy says, can you briefly explain the sequence and strategy in building a list of birthdays and high level for birthday campaigns for our local media platform? Yeah, Jimmy, and I'm going to be making a big push on this here pretty quickly with Air San Diego, and so I will have a lot to give you. However, if you are doing this under your brand, Jimmy, right? So you're doing this under your brand, then what I would be doing is I would just be running birthday ads under my brand saying, hey, there's San Diego's got, a special birthday gift for you, you know, opt in here to get your special gift. Okay. So that's it. I mean, just super simple. And what would be cool, like in San Diego in the local market here, I've got all these different demographics that I could target. So I could do some fun stuff, right? I could have some ads for the younger crowd that would be, pretty funny. I could have some ads for people who are turning 21 and do some promotions with restaurants and bars in the area where I say, hey, look, I've got this database of people that are turning 21, and I'll do a promotion to have them come to your bar, a special offer for them to come to your nightclub on their 21st birthday, whatever. You could do that for people, for any birthdays. But so anyway, so you're going to be capturing that entire list of opt-ins with their birthdays and stuff like that into high level. Okay. And high level has a native birthday field in there. So it's super easy, right? So when they opt in, you should take them to ideally take them right to a thank you page that's got some sort of birthday offer on there for them. And so, what I would recommend that you do is that you go and find a handful of businesses in the area that you can cut a deal with and say, hey, look, I'm going to be running these campaigns and driving people, to you, and we'll be marketing the heck out of this offer for free. So if you could just give me some sort of cool birthday offer that we can make, again, depending on your niche and stuff like that, it could be, hey, it's 2-for-1 drinks for your birthday at such and such bar. It's a free dinner at such and such restaurant, drinks not included. So, they're going to come there and drink too. Like, come up with something like that. And then ultimately, what you would do is build up a good, like, kind of list of those, right? So when somebody opts in for their birthday gift from you, that you've got like a variety of these stacked up. Hey, look, all of these local businesses here in the area are giving you these deals for your birthday. And then as you get a bunch of momentum on that list and on that database, you're going to be charging those businesses to be on that list, right? Because you're going to be driving them business. And then there's a number of different, what I think are going to be really cool strategies on top of that, Jimmy. That again, as I get it cranked up for their San Diego, I'll share those with you in more detail. And pretty quickly, like here in just the next handful of weeks, I'll share those with you. You bet, Jimmy. But that's going to be a super powerful, list to have, Jimmy. It's going to be super powerful. Let's see here. Did I miss any questions? Oh, here we go. Dustin said, "I happily pay to swipe your there San Diego B-Day campaigns once already." Well, Dustin, since you're in the local media program, you'll get those. um, but thank you. Did I miss any up here? I don't think so. Cool. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and type them in here. Still got some time on the clock, so I'll give it a couple of minutes here to let you guys put it in here. Tim says, Mike, for their San Diego, you aren't a big fan of Twitter, are you? No, but Tim, that's a weakness of mine. That's just, it's so funny. Honestly, not until this pandemic did I get excited about Twitter. I really have never personally used or cared about Twitter. Now I actually love Twitter personally, but I haven't done anything with it from a business perspective. And the reason why I love it is because I realize now that it is really like the real time conversation and news of the world. Yeah, Sherry says for digital marketers, especially SEO, Twitter is the only place to be. I would say for the startup community that I love, that's outside of this startup community, so like the Silicon Valley startup community, man, Twitter is it. Twitter is the only place. Like if you want to interact with venture capitalists and all that stuff, it's all Twitter. So it actually should be more of a focus of mine, Tim. I just have not put the effort into it. See here, Richard says, is the Blitz strategy in info alchemy? No, it's in growth insiders, Richard, or it's in leverage selling for sure. Anyway, I'll make sure you get it. And then let's see here, Adam. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself, bud.
Good deal. You hear me okay?
Yep.
Turn my camera on too. There we go. I have to try out the iPhone camera. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's nice. I think it's good.
All right, so I'm trying to get myself away from this like custom work, and I keep getting dragged into it. So, So I have a client right now. I've done a lot of Facebook ads work with them, and they were looking for a way to kind of find, targeted, like really targeted data, and so through another client of mine, we had this like data platform that was presented that allows us to, like we can create audience of like people that have the Home Depot app with the shopping app. It's like a segregated data. It's very expensive data in my opinion, but it's, we're basically going to be able to create these, hyper targeted data sets. And so this client's all excited about it. They want to jump on and they're like, well, I think this is going to need like 20 hours of work, like doing the Facebook campaigns. And I'm like, so anyways, I had a call with them this morning. I'm like, look, I'm not in the position or wanting to, I want to build, my own assets. And so, he needs like a graphic designer. There's a lot of Facebook stuff. And I'm like stuck in this, like having a hard time to say no. I'm like, okay, well, I'll send you a proposal of like, what it would look like, with boundaries. So anyways, that's where I'm at right now. So maybe I just whack me on the head and say no.
Yeah, man. My old business partner Josh used to say, anytime we run into these opportunities, or anytime friends and family ask you to do business, you double your normal rates, and then add 50%. And then if they say yes, at least you have something to think about. Like, is it worth the pain for the money? And that's kind of the approach that I would recommend that you take here. Is like, depending on your personal circumstances and stuff like that, it might be good to, grab the money right now and realize, hey, this is a project, I can squeeze it in, at night, get the work done or whatever. And if they're willing to pay me enough, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. I would just make sure Jimmy says no, or pay a premium price. Yeah, I would just make sure put a real nice premium on it. And if you can't control those variables and it's pulling you away from your other stuff, I would personally just say, no, I don't do that. I also think that their strategy is wrong too. So for what it's worth, I think that they're not going to be happy with the results.
Yeah, I mean, it's like $10,000 a month for the data, to create the audiences kind of thing.
Yeah, and I just feel like that is such a waste on Facebook. Um,
Well, so he wants to do Google and, not just Facebook stuff, but
so I mean, maybe there's a way to make that ROI. So yeah, so I would just, I mean, I would charge an arm and a leg, and then
because like where I went from, because I'm like, if you want someone specifically to do graphics, I've wanted to have someone on my team that can do, graphics for ads and stuff because it'd be useful. And I'm like, look, I'll hire the person, I'll, hire and manage this person. And then, so anyways, I may just give him a proposal and, like you said, jack up the prices. And if it works out, then
yeah,
it's a, it's a project that I try to build some assets on my team at the same time, but it's definitely in the trading time for money thing.
yeah, and exactly. I mean, the way that you escape this, right, is that you put together those packages, and then those packages are the only thing that you talk about, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
it's all about marketing enough that your pipeline is full enough that you don't feel tempted to have to go to the other types of deals.
Yeah. I mean, so I've been doing design work and consulting for this company for the last 2 years, so it's not like the first time he's asked for something like this.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
all right. Well, thanks, Mike. Thanks
You
everyone for the
bet.
comments.
You bet. Let's see here. Clarence says, "Do you know if we can run an affiliate Facebook ad campaign straight to a landing page?" No, I would. Yeah, no, I would definitely have a bridge page in there, Clarence, for sure. You will get your account whacked by Facebook very quickly. Um, let's see here. How long does it take to go through the content for the mastermind, Rob? Not long at all. I have Rob in the mastermind links out to a number of different courses and resources for you in there. So if you're to go through all of those in one sitting, it's quite a bit of content, but there's no real good reason for you to do that, I don't think. So maybe a few hours, maybe. Um, Patrick says, minor question, should we use the same snapshot link you have in the resources section to update your snapshot? I've imported again, but I can't really tell what's changed. You mentioned all the high-level agency resources look same as originally downloaded. Maybe share something specific you added. Patrick, so the high-level agency resources should be in there, but let me confirm with my team. Let me confirm with my team because maybe it did not make it in there for some reason. Let me just send off a quick message. Let's see here. Okay, so I will make sure that we get that over there because I had a gal on my team who was really testing because High Level now has a very basic version manager in there. So we tested it on our own account to make sure that when we downloaded the new stuff, it didn't blow up our account, and it didn't. So I will just confirm though that she actually got it into our main STS mastermind snapshot yet, or if she only did that with the testing one. So let me figure that out. Rob, yeah, like 4 to 5 hours or something like that is realistic. Let's see here. Dave says, how many hours a week or people does it take to run a site like There's San Diego once the site is built? I have one part-time admin in the Philippines. And then I just very recently added one very part-time social media person as well. But I only did that because during this whole quarantine thing, I wanted to make sure that we had a whole bunch of social media activity, and I knew that I didn't want to do that. Like, I'm going to be sitting in my apartment and hanging out with my kids and stuff like that. So I knew I wouldn't do a good job of it. So that's all I have on it. So my total costs of operating that site at this point on a monthly basis are tiny. I mean, for what it is, it's tiny. And the amount of time I put into it each week is maybe 5 hours right now. When things crank back up, I plan on putting a lot more time into it, but still, very part-time for me. So maybe 20 hours a week, maybe. But at 20 hours a week, like I'll be able to, like, grow it. It won't be just kind of, staying steady. I'll be growing the thing. So thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Richard says this question might be loaded because it varies from person to person, but I was curious, in your experience going from opt-in to book a call, what have you seen that you typically pay for someone to actually book a call with you? Yeah, Richard, that can really vary industry by industry. I would not, the $50, $75, $100, super, super common, I'd say, to see those numbers, like probably in any industry, $50, $75, that type of thing. But then it can go way up from there. For IT services, when I was focused on that, it was $250, $275 a call. So for what you're doing, yeah, you want 75-cent book calls, yeah. Well, guess what? For you, I don't think it's going to be, for what you're doing, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that expensive. It's going to be much more on that lower range, and I'll be super curious to see what you get that number down to. I wouldn't be surprised if you can get it, I don't know, maybe more in that $25 range or something like that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see. All right, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm giving you guys a 5-minute countdown. So if anybody else has got a question, put them in here. Tim says, oh yeah, quickly explain for the 15th time your process for getting user-generated content for your Instagram account. Yeah, so there's a couple of things, Tim. I mean, one, I just go out and find content that I like and just contact the person and just say, hey, love your content. Do you mind if we reshare it? Okay. So that's how I got things going, right? And then what will happen is if you're active in your industry or active in your market on Instagram, you're going to start seeing the people that are, super active and almost kind of professional posters on Instagram, right? Like they spend hours every day just going out and getting these beautiful pictures of food or beaches or whatever the heck it is. And then they are thrilled to have you share their content because they want the visibility. So what they will do is they will say, hey, you're free to use my stuff anytime, just tag me. So you'll develop a really nice bench of people that are happy to let you just share their content. So that's what we have now, is a ton of those people. And then what happens over time as well is people just start tagging you. As they see your account getting visibility, they start tagging you. And when they tag you, they're essentially saying, hey, would you share my stuff? They're trying to get visibility with you. So you're going to get people kind of coming to you that way. And then the other way, if you see right now, what we've been doing a lot of, Tim, is on our Instagram stories. We've been doing a lot of the real interactive features. So questions and quizzes and polls and things like that. So we're getting a ton of user generated content that way. So like I have two posts that we're putting together right now on the site that will do really well for us. Blog posts, I mean, on the website, where all of the content is coming from our Instagram story content that we got that's user generated. So we're just taking all that content and building it into a blog post, and that will do really well for us. And those are getting a ton of engagement, ton of visibility. So that's pretty much it. Rob says, what CPL are you getting for contests on Facebook and YouTube? For YouTube, I couldn't tell you, Rob. For Facebook, for like in the local market here, I'll get a 50 cent cost per lead. Is probably pretty average. I'll get that down as low as 20 cents on some of those contests, and never more than $1. If it's more than $1, I shut it off. Like I've done something wrong. I've put a bad offer out there or something. Usually around 50 cents. Yeah, Kurt, I will share content as a service. It will be here in the next handful of weeks. I have stuff queued up. I have to finish up here first. And yeah, Jimmy, tag us to be featured, call to action in the profile. Yep. Rob says, come on, Mike, why no YouTube leads? Yeah, because I honestly, I just have not gotten to it yet. It's one of those things that, I mean, I should be doing more. Shame on me, I know. And I think that in the next month or two, I think I'm actually going to hire somebody. It's been a long time since I've hired somebody because I've just enjoyed being so lean and mean. But I think I might hire somebody because there's a bunch of stuff I want to get done, and really kind of going back into aggressive growth mode. And so I think that might be coming, and then we'll be all over those YouTube ads. Yeah, interns. Yeah, Richard, hire one of the students. Yeah, absolutely. I know, you're right. Yep. It is good idea. Tim says, do we use any apps to make our Instagram stories look slick? Nope. It's all just in Instagram stories. I mean, Instagram stories has so many cool features for actually editing the content and stuff in there now. And they actually have a bunch more that they're rolling out. But yeah, no, it's all just inside of Instagram. It's so funny because I got, for a while, Instagram stories were all about these pretty templates and all that. And I got into those for a while. And then just like going live with my camera, it's like, gosh, if I have to slow down to use templates and all that type of stuff, like it just doesn't get done. So thank goodness that apparently was true for enough people that, now it's like Instagram just built in all the cool editing features right inside the program. And they've, like I said, they've got some really cool new ones coming out. All right, cool, gang. We are at 2:00. I've got a lot to do. So it's all right, Patrick. Thank you. Thank you very much, Richard. Appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will have this video posted up on the YouTube channel here very quickly. Hopefully my video looks better here, so it will be nice up there. And I'll have the time stamps in there, which I have found personally. I really love that to have the time stamps in there. And check out the Boost apps. Cool, I will do that. But thank you so much for your time, for your attention, everybody. Keep your head up, keep plugging away, be on offense, okay? And if you need anything else after this call, you know where to reach me in the Facebook groups, or you can email our support if you need something there as well, okay? Take care, and we will see you on the next call. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.